Okay, for another way to use multi-body parts is, and to actually get them then back to a single body part, is to use the combine feature, and that's how I made this part. This part is actually very, very simple. It's just a couple of extrude thins where I have combined them and then filleted, then mirrored, and then filleted again to add that fillet across there. Which probably could have been added ahead of time before the mirroring, but seemed to work a little bit better the other way. Let's see, in fact, let's see. Yeah, it looks like, okay, yeah, so I think it does have to exist past the mirror because it's using tangent propagation across there. All right, so let's see how to make this part. So I'm going to control N for a new part. Let's see, I'm going to set my background to plain white, make it a little easier on the video recorder. And let's start a sketch on the right plane. And let's get my line tool, draw a straight line out, a horizontal line out up here, and a vertical line down here a little bit past the origin. Actually, it might need to be on the other side of the origin. Let me take a look here. Nope, I think that is past the origin. Actually, I might go right up to it. Here, let me take a look at the sketch. Okay, yes, so it goes on the other side of it. You just have to make sure, and it's okay if it goes either way. It's just the reason I'm doing it is to make sure that I know which side of the line the extrude thin is going to go on. So yeah, let's pull that just a little bit past there. In fact, let's go ahead and dimension it from there so we know it's that. I'm going to use 10 millimeter extrude, so let's make that 10 millimeters. And let's make this guy a construction line. And now we'll get my spline tool and connect those. And let's give distance from that endpoint there. Let's use, say, 70. That looks pretty good. And height. Let's try 35. Looks pretty good. All right, and then now let's make our spline. Let's get these guys. We can pick the spline, pick that line, tangent, pick the line, pick, oops, sorry, don't need to make anything tangent down here. Oh, yeah, we do. Pick the line, that line, make tangent, and let's pull these guys in a little bit, and that one out a little bit. Make that look fairly even. How's that? It's not too bad. Let's see, we still need a distance here. Let's make that a little bit shorter. Maybe 60. I think that'll be fine. Actually, let's make this one a little bit longer. Let's try 90. There we go. Yeah, that's a little bit better. All right, so now let's make a sketch on our top plane that relates to this. So let's get normal to that. Let's get our line tool. And we'll sketch from that end up to, I think, the origin, or maybe just a little bit past it. Not sure. And then let's get out of that, get our spline tool. We can move it if we need to, and then just come down here to near the end. And let's make a guideline here to help with this. And let's make sure that it is coincident with the end line. So this one should already be coincident. Yeah, that's good. There may be a coincident right in here that we'll need to fix. But let's get the spline moving out. So I want to make a horizontal here and vertical here to make that part of that arc. And let me make double sure that, let's see, yeah, that one goes out past, and the other one, let's see, where does it go? It might actually go right even to it. Yep, it does. All right, so we'll go back and edit that. All right, yeah, this is the one that goes out past. So let's delete that coincident. Let's drag it out. Let's give it a dimension 10, and then that actually should be good. Oh, no, we need to define it. So let's see. Really, I think all we'll need is a distance. So there, let's make that 70. Oh, still underdefined. Nope. Let's right click. Let's fully define it. Okay, yeah, it needed a length back there. And, for some reason it needs a length out here. I don't want a dimension there. So I'm going to delete that. I want this to be, oh, I know what it is. Yeah, we'll just make it coincident with that. That's what it is. All right, so this all looks pretty good. Let's say okay, and now let's go back and edit this guy. Yeah, and so you just don't need a dimension there. You just need to be coincident there. Yeah, and that's all good. All right, so now let's make some extrude thins from these. So let's pick this side sketch, extrude boss base. Because it's only a line, it's automatically going to make my extrude thin. But let's see where it needs to go, which side of that thing. So I'm going to actually flip the side so yeah, it goes up. It's going to go up from the ground plane and then up. And let's see. Let's set its how far it goes out. Instead of blind, let's go out up the vertex. Let's pick right out here. So we'll go all the way out to the end out. That way if we change this one will propagate with it. So that looks okay. And then let's do another extrude thin using the other sketch. And then this time I definitely want to make sure it goes up past that guy. Or right up to it. Let's try it right up to it, and if that doesn't work, then we'll make it go past it. And let's see. Let's make sure. Yeah, see now it's on that side of it. So let's flip the side of it. Yeah, that's good. Yeah, and so see that's going to change this thing out here. So we may have to come back and instead of blind or instead of up to that vertex, we're just going to have to pull it on out a little bit farther, just so we know it goes out past it. So yeah, in fact, let's just go ahead and do that with this one. I'm not even going to worry with, just make sure it goes beyond it. That looks good. Oh, and then the most crucial part of this is to make sure you have merge result unchecked here. Otherwise, it'll make that all one body. So with merge result unchecked, now I can say OK. And let's come back and edit this guy. I think I might even just be able to grab that. No, wait, that thing I think is constrained. So yeah, it's constrained by that vertex. So let's just edit it. And instead of that, let's just do blind. And let's just make sure it's out here. Pretty good ways. 100 mil should do it. Yeah. All right, so now let's get these two together so that I've got just the commonality between them. So to do that, I'm going to do insert, features, combine, and then pick common down here. And then let's pick the two bodies that I need and then say OK. And so that'll get me that part. So the rest of it is just filleting and mirroring. So let's go ahead and do that. I want to pick that edge. Let's put a fillet on it. Let's make it half of that depth. So let's make it 5 mil. Let's see if we can get away with a 5 mil fillet right in there, and that looks pretty good. We may have to come in and make that a bigger fillet, but we'll see how this does. Let's say okay with that, and then let's do the bottom edge the same, 5 mil, and yeah, that all looks good. So that works. If this fails, and sometimes it might, so what you'll want to do is you may have to do these as separate. You notice I did them as separate fillets. So let's undo that last fillet and see what happens if we try to make it all in the same one. It might work, but I've had it fail. Actually, it looks like it's going to do it for this one. Oop, and let's make sure. Let's see. It looks like we've got something. Let's see. What's that trying to do? Yeah, it's trying to fillet that end out there. So let's see about getting rid of that. Oh, okay. Yeah, it did that as, yes, let's edit that. And yeah, see now, it's wanting to fail on this thing. For some reason, if you're trying to do a half fillet on parts like this, you can run into failure on it. So again, doing it as separate ones. So let me just clear everything here. So let's make sure we've got one there, and then that, and that's all okay. And then let's just do a separate fillet down here, 5 mil. And now it works. So it's classic SolidWorks being SolidWorks. So if you can't get it all in one feature, try doing part of it with one and then the other part with the other. So that looks pretty good. Let's mirror it. So I'm just going to pick this face and then come up here to mirror. And instead of features to mirror, which is what we've been using, you want to use bodies to mirror. So I just want to mirror that body around that. This time I do want to have merge solids turned on and say okay. And so that has made that yoke across there. And then the last thing is to just add that tiny little fillet on these edges. So let's make that a 1 mil, and let's add that bottom edge to that. And that's all good. Okay, and I think we're done for this one. But you can see the power of being able to use that just a simple, quick extrude thin to make a fairly complex part. If you were trying to loft all these faces to get a part like this, that could be quite a bit of trouble. So with the extrude thins and combine, you can do some fairly powerful things. And then some other cool aspects of this is that you could come back and if you hadn't constrained these parts, you could come in and start to edit them. So maybe I want this to be a little bit longer or not so wide here, so maybe 60 instead, and say okay. And it's easy enough to make those kinds of changes. I'm going to do that. All right, hope this helps.